Kitty.
Why is this finger longer than all the others? Why?
The things you hear from cosplayers.
It's okay, Sam. It happens.
I just have tiny hands, and my hands don't fit in everything. And like these are still too big for my hands.
Every now and then, we all have a finger that's just too long.
A little bit long.
So we are live. Hello, everybody. If you heard that, we all have a finger that's just too long.
Sometimes.
Thank you for being patient while we were getting connected. We're going to obviously check and make sure that these are all casting, but I believe that they are.
Twitch is good.
Huh?
Twitch is
good. Okay. And then we've got Facebook and YouTube. It looks like they're live right now. I've got the green check marks, so I think we're good there. All right. Thank you for your patience. I've had a couple issues with our streaming service this week, but we figured it out, and we should be fine for the following weeks. So welcome to this episode. We are going to be talking about transforming yourself with cosplay, and we have our guest here, Karen Cosplays. Here we go. This is our guest this week.
Hello.
And all right, why don't we have you introduce yourself, Karen?
So, unfortunately, my name is Karen, but I try to use my speak to the manager powers for the good of all, always. And I'm a cosplayer that lives between DC and Baltimore, and I specialize in that thing from the 90s that you may have forgotten about. And today I am being a Lola Bunny and sort of glowing from the natural light. And I'm really excited. This is my first event like this, and I've got my notes, and I'm ready to talk about a bunch of cool stuff.
Awesome. All right. So next we'll have Jinx introduce yourself. I'm just going to do this fun little style swap today.
Hi, guys. It's JinxCosplay. I've been cosplaying since 2001. I'm based in Arizona, so it's pretty warm here. I do a lot of video game cosplays. This is my brand new cosplay, Bowsette. Oh, my God. And I had half of the stuff in my wardrobe, and that kind of scares me, but hey, it's cool. So hi, guys. Thank you so much for coming. All our regulars, we love you. Wow.
All right. And Kii-chan / Kii-chan's cat.
Yeah, hi. This is Peppadoo. She's the real star of the show. I'm Kii-chan Cosplay. I'm the Pacific Northwest cosplayer up in the Seattle area. I do a little bit of everything: panels, work, workshop. I'm so sorry. She's needy. I've been gone all week, pretty much, and so my cat's like, "Mom, you're home." Which another I am all natural today because I'm really tired. So please, cosplayers, never forget. You can always just go in a wig, and I'm doing College Haru from 3rd season. So canon, but that is okay. Do the easy cosplays when you need them. It's worth it.
Yep.
Okay,
Awesome.
You're done.
All right. And Ambrose Cosplay.
Hi guys, I'm Liz from Ambrose Cosplay. This is my casual Jack Skellington look because it actually says Nightmare Before Coffee, which is true. Because we're getting close to my favorite holiday, Halloween. Although now that I'm looking at it, guys, every time I do a cosbound, I feel like I get something other than what I was going for, and I'm definitely getting Kelly vibes. You know the really old video where she's like, "Oh my God, shoes." That's what I'm getting right now.
Come back and did one about masks.
So
I love that every cosplay reference you make is about The Office.
So that's I was going for Jack Skellington, but I'm also barefaced today, much like Kii-chan. So yeah, it's totally okay to do whatever level of cosplay you're feeling right now, especially because times are wild. So just you do you, all right?
Thank you. And I am Sam from ThermoCosplay. I am not barefaced.
Really? Sure?
I don't know. I thought I just woke up.
That's how you are in the morning. Yeah, you woke up like that.
I don't know what happened. I think I'm angry.
Actual face, you guys. The disguise has been removed.
So I'm doing my take on Gwynage, basically Carnage, as Gwen Stacy is Carnage. I've been cosplaying for 6 years, and I'm your usual host here along with Jinx, so you see me all the time. But if you don't, go to ThermoCosplay.com and you'll just see more of me. So let's go ahead and go back to all of us together. Look at this. Look at our little crew. Yay! All right, so today we're talking about transforming yourself with cosplay, and that can mean many different things. So let's go ahead and start with our guest, Karen Cosplays, and I'm gonna move you over here, and we'll just walk back into this little spot here. And why don't you tell us what your favorite like transformation was?
So I have two, and if for different reasons. So the cosplay that I'm most proud of is probably Ula, because it was so many new things. So, that's the green Twi'lek from Return of the Jedi for Star Wars. And it's literally pasties and paint. And I've never done body paint before. And I went from 0 to 60, and I had to learn how to use the airbrush. I had to learn, there was so much. But the reason that I have the second one is that technically I can't paint myself when I'm Ula. It just isn't possible. So for most of my body. And so my other favorite is Jemima from Cats, because I completely taught myself and lots of practice doing the stage makeup to transform my face. And that was another brand new thing that I was able to do from start to finish without assistance. And I was very proud of that. Yep. Yep.
I like it.
Very
nice stuff right there.
That costume is why Brent Spiner knows me by name, because I met him like that.
Nice.
The fact that you do Jemima from Cats makes me so happy. She's my favorite.
She's the best. Her wig is, oh my God, I can't point at things. Her wig is right there.
Oh, that's amazing.
But I'm just scrolling. I'm like, look at all this amazing stuff. Yay. Yay.
Oh, it's so pretty.
And that's something too, that like, this is not only just transforming yourself, that's like a big body positivity thing. Like, you really have to embrace whatever form you're in to basically be in pasties and fishnets. So,
interestingly, it doesn't feel like I'm as naked as I am. And it's like later I'll look at pictures and be like, and the body paint, we've all dealt with this kind of thing, but people don't like touch you because they think the paint's gonna come off, and I'm like, yes, extra bonus.
Look, this is awesome. I am officially being left alone because, hey, look at that. Nobody wants to be. So how long does it take you to get into Ula?
Okay, so I'm lucky that my skin tone and this particular very yellow green were everyone's different. Every color, blues, it's all different. It doesn't take as many layers for me to get covered with this particular paint. So Ula's painting session is about 3 hours. And then I would say another hour and a half for like the rest, putting your costume on, getting the makeup, etc.
Yeah, that makes. And are you wearing Twi'lek Pam's Leku?
Yes,
I recognize those Leku.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. But yeah, no, I figured it would probably be in the 2.5 to 3 hour range because you're doing a head to toe painting here. And I've helped my my friend Amber Bright Props and her husband paint. And basically I took the front side, her husband took the back side, or it was reversed. But basically we're just like, shh.
This is CosTalk After Dark, you guys.
If you take that quote, her husband took the front side, I took the back side.
Inappropriate, people.
Oh, I have to like I have to like bend over at one point. I'm like, we have to get all the things.
Yep, you have to get in some really uncomfortable spaces, and you have to understand that if you're going to do a full body paint, you need to really, really be comfortable with the person painting you or persons painting you, because they're going to see everything. There's really no way for them not to see everything if it's full body. So
I definitely went through many different kinds of pasties before I found the ones that work for that kind of thing. And it's the kind that I'm sure you guys have seen this, where people, they're painted to look like they're wearing a costume, but they're not in fact wearing anything. So it's a special kind of silicone pasty that like you like blend into your skin, so it's completely smooth. And that was definitely like a learning experience, because I've worn her 3 times, and it's very expensive to buy that much paint for that much coverage. So it's been like, I was able to wear her to Celebration and get some absolutely amazing photos in front of the big Jabba that they have there. And it's not that I will never wear her again, but it's not like in the future right now because of how expensive it is. But I'm just so proud of how she came out, and I got professional photos, and I was featured in Cosplay magazine. It was like, oh.
Yeah, it was, that's actually like how I realized it didn't, like, it clicked with me that I'd actually seen you before, because I like read the magazine. I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, wait a second. I know this person. So, and then this is the Cats one that you were referencing.
Oh, so perfect.
That's so cool.
And that
And
was,
then, of course, the cat.
she was literally licking my hand in that picture. And I was using my timer to take a photo of me crouching, and she just kind of came in and I got that exact photo, and it's one of my favorite things.
Nice.
It's amazing. That's just great. Like, that's awesome. That's totally awesome.
It was definitely a lesson in patience. I know we'll get to tools and stuff later in the conversation, but yeah it was whew.
A lot of work, I would think. Yeah. All right. Well, who would like to talk about their favorite transformation next? Ugh, I eat myself.
Okay, I'll go.
Okay. What's your favorite one so I can pull up pictures?
So, I mean, I always talk about this costume all the time. It's like in every like cosplay challenge, I could fit like half of them in. But my Widowmaker from Overwatch.
Okay.
I've never done. Also, it was my first body painting. And it was my first time wearing. My first time making Warbler armor and stuff. And I was looking at this character, and you know it's funny because like I talk about this a lot because obviously I'm a person of color, and it's like when I look at characters, obviously a lot of them are like Western or European features, and I'm like, I don't know, can I pull this off? And I just do it. I'm like, okay, well, we'll just see what happens. And of course, like as I cost test stuff, I'm like, I look so weird. But then when I got in all of it, and I was like looking at myself in the mirror, I'm like, oh my god, I look like Widowmaker. Like, it was insane. That's not one of the best pictures. It's a funny angle, but the one where I have like the rifle over my shoulder that I'm mimicking that's my brother's girlfriend. So I was just like, oh my god, how did I pull this off? Like that's my favorite picture. And I look at it like, that's me.
I love moments like that.
Yeah, and I was just like,
you like embody every character you do. Like I know that you feel self-conscious about like maybe not having the like the features to match, but like you always pull off every character wonderfully.
Thank you. And Widowmaker was hard because you guys know me. Like I'm like bubbly, smiley. Like she was so hard, but it was a good challenge to try and like not always be like, hi guys, you know, because Widow's just out to kill everybody. So.
And
that was fun.
You're not out to kill everybody, so you know.
Nah, I'm out to love everybody, so it was fun to like do something different.
How long did it take you to get into your body paint that time?
I think it was like about an hour and so, because it was only my face, neck, and then arms. And yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, and I just like brushed it on, or did I can't remember what I did. Oh, I did it 2 different ways.
Next time you wear her, I will totally airbrush you with my new airbrush, and we'll just be like way faster than the old one that was horrible.
I know, it's like I want to wear it again, but it's like,
I will totally do it. You just buy the paint. I will actually suggest what paint to buy too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Totally. Because I'm not ready to give up the costume yet. But it's like I think because the last time I wore it, Sam painted me, and it was not her fault because I gave her old paint. And it like clogged up, and I was like, oh my god. And it was like the middle of summer in Arizona because I'm stupid, and I was almost having a breakdown. I'm like, she's like, you don't have to go if you don't want to go. And I'm like, no, like you worked so hard on this. I worked so hard on this. Like, let's just go. I'm gonna Photoshop it. So half of my paint was on, and then later I Photoshopped it, so it ended up being okay. But yeah, that one was a lot of fun, like that transformation. Another favorite transformation, I don't know. I'll think of another one later.
You can think of another one while we're going to somebody else. Does anyone else have a favorite transformation? I have one, but I can wait for somebody else to go first.
Sam, go ahead.
Okay. Darn it, closed my album. And they go back to my album. Here it is. Okay, cool. I reference this way too much too. Jinx, it's fine. I'm pretty sure you already know which one it is.
Yeah.
Everybody probably already knows which one it is. But my Thane Krios from Mass Effect, probably my favorite transformation. One, because people can't quite tell whether I'm male or female when I wear it, because I'm already pretty easily flat chested, so I wore a flattening sports bra, but I can't hide my butt. There's no way for me to hide that. So there's the hips, but then there's like completely like brolic and like flat. So people are like, huh? And I love that.
Sam's got a big butt and she cannot lie.
Exactly. I like kind of where you're wondering. And then I also it was my first time making a silicone appliance, putting it on, painting it. I mean, I made everything for this costume except for the Omni tool because, I mean, honestly, guys,
how much would that have cost?
It was actually like $65 in materials to make, and it was only $20 to buy. So
yeah.
But this one, it's a lot of work because Karen Cosplays mentioned, silicone based appliances, pasties or otherwise require specialized adhesives and a lot of time because they take so much time to dry in between layers when you're trying to smooth everything out. Plus, they don't breathe well, so I had to learn how to ventilate it after wearing it the first time and taking it off and basically having a bucket of water come off my head. So I learned the hard way. So I slit my neck and separated the neck piece and the head piece and then created this additional silicone flap to look like it was connected, and it wasn't, and that helped a lot. But I just really liked that I used a combination of mesh and alcohol-based airbrush paints and silicone and skin tight to create this just crazy alien that I love the most. That's my cosplay partner and sister, Lena. She's awesome.
How many times have you worn Thane? Have you only ever worn him once?
3 times.
3 times. Oh, okay, wow.
And I retired it because I realized I can make it so much better now that I know what the heck I'm doing.
And how long does it take you to get in from start to finish?
Start to finish, it takes me 2.5 hours for everything. Now, just the headpiece without painting takes an hour because I have to let the layers dry in between, and then it's another 30 minutes for the neck.
Nice.
But it only takes about 45 minutes to paint.
And can you do it all by yourself, or you need Lena to help you?
No, I can do it by myself.
Okay, cool.
The only time I usually get Lena to help me is when I'm like worried about the lines on the neck not lining up.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll do one side and be like, "Yo, can you just like connect the dots?" So I'll do like the left side, and then she'll do the other side, and that's like a good thing too. Like asking for help is always a good thing. So. Yeah.
Cosplayers can never do it alone. Like we all know.
I need so much help with body paint.
It's
not even funny.
I once had a costume where I had this crazy garter thing going on under my skirt, and I could not button the back of it. So like one time I was with my boyfriend, so obviously he did it, but then he wasn't there, and I'm like, okay, are you okay getting under my skirt? Like I had to ask a friend. They're like, okay. So they literally had to like get under there, like between my legs and like snap everything. So yeah, can't be shy as cosplayer, I guess.
No.
Oh, I want to mention some comments, guys. We've got a couple. Joe, hi, thank you so much for coming back and seeing us. And Maya, you always watch us as well. Says, I agree, Jinx transforms into her character so well. I'm glad you found the courage to step out of your comfort zone. Thank you so much. And she also said that Ula is amazing. I can't imagine 3 hours of body paint. Also, Gay, I love Lola Bunny. And Trish loves your Lola as well. And Vaughn says, howdy, ladies. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. If you have any questions, remember you can drop them in the comments and we'll answer them later.
I don't have anything crazy. I'm actually currently working on my most intensive cosplay. I'm making Dobby from My Hero, and he has a bunch of like basically like skin grafts all over his body. And so I was like, well, I could do makeup every time and take 3 hours to get him ready. But instead I've decided to make, I'm using creature skin, and I'm making essentially a second layer of skin. So it's a lot of trial and error. So I don't have anything prepared once I start. Once I have pictures, I'll post them on my social media. But he's kind of what I've been working on, and I know is going to be like the most intensive. But to date, what I have and I can wear at conventions, I have my Demon Rom. And I love him because Rom is my most masculine character. And so at first it was a little nerve-wracking, and I felt like I was stepping into a world I wasn't ready for. But I've had so much fun like hiding my curves and working on binding, and Rom has really pushed that forward because I did a lot of free cosplays, obviously. And so I did a lot of open chest binding, but it was usually with a jacket or a vest or something. Rom's pretty open, especially in his demon outfit. It's a vest, but it just kind of covers just enough.
I think I found it.
Yeah, so it just covers just enough. And when you're a busty lady, it takes a little extra energy. I should have sent some pictures. I don't have anything good online.
Okay.
But I love I love Demon Rom. He takes me like a minimum of an hour to get into just to do the makeup and some makeup on my chest and stomach to do the shading. The binding I actually can do by myself, but the first couple of times I wore him, I had to have a partner help me bind all the way around. But he's such a pretty costume, and like there's so many pieces and so much Velcro and so many chains that like it's a simple piece, but like I have to put so many details on it that by the time I have completely redressed, it's like that took half an hour just to get every single tiny detail in place.
I love those chains.
It was so fun to do. It was such a big piece, and I've actually redone this costume like 3 times because I'll do it and I'm like, no, that didn't work. We're gonna try it again, and then I'll do it again, and I'm like, no, that didn't work. We're gonna try it again. And so I'm on like the 3rd pair of boots and like the 3rd crown, and like I've just done so much with it. But I've also done like this one means a lot to me as well because I've done so many skits in it. So even though it has a lot of pieces and it seems really delicate, I have been thrown on the stage. That crown has come off multiple times while acting. Like I'm so proud of how durable this costume is because I've had to do so much wearing it.
That's always good.
Yeah, but I'm excited to get into the world of body paints and stuff. Like Dobby is such a project, but I'm gonna do basically the same thing Sam was talking about with like a neck cowl and trying to paint it / have mostly silicone. And it is a world. You guys are crazy, and I love you all. And expect questions.
Well, like I said, next time I go into Seattle for any kind of event, I will bring my airbrush with me and some paints, and we all should just have like a little party. Even if we all just run around like Felix with like the little cheapo headpieces, and we're like, wee!
Let's do it. I'm in.
All right, so we haven't heard from Ambrose. What is your favorite cosplay transformation?
Okay, so I actually had the opportunity recently to do 2 socially distanced Halloween photo shoots with Bros and Cons, who are my boos. I love them. And you know what? If you are looking to do a socially distanced photo shoot in Arizona, they are the people to do it with. They have a set of safety rules on their site of what to expect basically for the photo shoot. And for both of them, they took safety extremely seriously. And I felt very safe the whole time. So the first one that we did was Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas, which was, a body paint job. I did that on my own. All the times I've done Sally before, except for once I've done the paint for. And of course, the one time that I didn't do it, I feel like it turned out the best. But, and then we also did, for the second photo shoot, we did my Femme Hades from Disney's Hercules. And Sam had previously done that body paint for me and did an amazing job. I did the best that I could. I definitely feel like obviously Sam's turned out better, but like I almost feel like I found like a zen, where I kind of like halfway through I was like, whatever, like just it's gonna look the way that it looks. And I think it turned out okay. But I don't think body paint is ever gonna be really like the big thing that I do, I know some people like, Amber Bright props, like I feel like she kills it with the body paint every time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how it turned out. So I did that one.
That makes me laugh.
So funny story, you guys, for the shoot, you know how the wig is all up? Literally, like as soon as we were about to get started, the whole back of the wig like came down. And so
oh no.
Again, I was kind of just like, whatever, like this may as well happen. But we had to do that picture at the end. They're like, whoa, is my hair out? From the movie. The wig off, and we got that picture.
So cute.
I don't think I posted any of the Sally ones yet, but I know Bros and Cons has.
Okay, let me go to them then. I'll go to their stuff.
We love Bros and Cons. We're always
I love Bros and Cons. Like they are like I feel like they're like my ride or die.
They're awesome.
Photographers. They're just amazing. And like I said, they did a great job with the safety. Like I never felt unsafe or anything. They took it very seriously. They wore masks the whole time. We kept our distance from each other, and they're always very professional, and the shots that they get are always really good.
Yeah.
They're just amazing. And I know they've recently in their stories been posting like, kind of in their story, like tap to edit. So you go to the next story, they have the original and they have the edited photo. I love that. I think that's so cool.
Ooh, I'm gonna pull it up now.
For both Sally and Hades, I used arm socks and tights, which means I only really had to paint my chest and my face. which is really nice. I'm all for saving time with that. As a matter of fact, the Hades body paint, I finished earlier than expected. I gave myself 2 hours. I finished in an hour and a half. So I just sat around the house topless for a half hour. That was kind of fun. Because, you know, you don't want to ruin the paint. And when Sam did my Hades body paint the first time, I'm sure you remember Sam, we were doing this at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
I was trying to get my arm sock on and I like punched myself in the face.
And then we started laughing and we realized everyone else is asleep and we're like,
we're trying like not to laugh like out loud, but it was hilarious. Like I was like pulling it on and like legit like punched myself.
Oh man.
So I know the arm socks, I feel like arm socks, you know, obviously they don't always look like, you know, the body paint. You have to like match them now, color match them, and then texture wise they don't usually match. But I find that the benefit of saving time is worth it to me. I'm just a very impatient person. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to body paint, like I'm like, ain't nobody got time for that. Like unless someone's doing it for you, you know, like, so I'm definitely an arm sock, like, yes, go with arm socks type of person.
So we talked about our favorite transformations and some of the tools and materials that we've used in between them, but let's go ahead and start actually diving deeper into tools and materials. And I am going to bring Karen Cosplays here. Jinx is like, oh, so like, wait, like happy Jinx? Bad Jinx. Okay. So we're throwing Karen Cosplays up here. So what, when you're transforming yourself with cosplay, whether it be through body makeup or clothing, what would you say are your top 3 materials and tools?
So that was not a sad face, but a looking at my notes in the corner face.
You're so much more prepared than we are. I love it.
So one of my, some of this blends into makeup, so bear with me there, but one of my favorite tools that I did not know about when I first started doing cosplay in 2010 was being able to use root touch-up spray to temporarily change your hair color and then be able to have extensions. So I keep my hair red to be Dr. Crusher, but I also use root touch-up spray to be a brunette for Leia, because Leia's hair is very hard to wig because it's all like pulled back and up, and there would be a lot of money put into getting a good enough wig. So root touch-up spray is very inexpensive. Wow. It comes in a bunch of colors. I honestly cannot recommend it enough. It absolutely works for like a day at a con. You know, you just have to make sure that you like put a towel around yourself and touch. So do root touch-up spray before you do your makeup. But it's great, and I absolutely love it. And my friend, who was also a redhead doing Leia, she was like, "Oh yeah," and I was like, "Oh."
I also like graph, if I can spell right. Apparently, I can't type with this.
That's brilliant.
I use root touch-up spray to do Rey from Star Wars myself. So I agree with that 100%. Wow. A lot of those times, those really close to the head hairdos look really strange with a wig. So if you're able to, it works, and it does wash out, at least for me. Anyways, it washes out just fine.
And I've also used it same because I do the nanny like Fran Drescher, and I pull my hair back like up to here, and then I have a big fall to make it big, and I just do right there in the black color, and it's I love it really.
That's brilliant, guys.
And so
I haven't used I've used root touch-up spray for Sombra one time because my roots were growing in. So my hair decides what to grow in different colors, different times of the year. And the seasons were shifting, and it went from being dark to suddenly blonde again. And so that was fun. I was like, what's that? And I had not dyed my hair in a year, and it was just growing 3 different colors. And I'm like, okay.
So root touch-up spray.
I had to do that for Sombra to like kind of darken that area, but I also use the Graftobian hairspray color because if I need my hair to stay in a certain style, like I need it to stay up, I can use both the hairspray and color combined to keep it in that position.
So Graftobian is like, because when I did Widowmaker, if you saw, like I pulled my own hair back and covered it in like just the party paint, you know, like I had to do white and then purple, and then I put an extension on top. But I should have like learned from you guys this whole spray stuff. That sounds better than the party spray.
They have airbrush paints. It's going to be trickier with airbrush paints because they're usually more translucent. But I've seen people use that too, just like on the baby hairs to try and get them to blend in.
Oh yeah, but no, I had to do it on my whole head.
They have colored hair waxes now too. I haven't tried them, but like I know some cosplayers do use those.
I'm like shopping right now, guys. On my Amazon.
it like opened a whole new world for me, really. I was like, oh, okay.
Wow, that's such a great idea. I love it.
And then a second thing, I use magnets for a lot of things. And I think, I see people, and that's fine. People can do it however, but instead of sewing something, you can absolutely use a magnet, and then, there's more versatility there. So when I have and I believe I sent a picture, when I have my Miss Frizzle in her spacesuit, my Liz is attached to me via a magnet, and the air tube, that's just a magnet, so that I'm not, because the acrylic globe was very hard to work with. So I used not things that I had to drill into it as often as possible. I've attached cloaks with magnets, wing pieces. It's just a really great thing that I don't see it as often. Like, I see people using like glues and sewing, and I'm like, no, like magnets sometimes they're a great option depending.
Yeah. No, I agree with magnets there.
Especially for travel, like if you need to break something down, I can't stress the amount of magnets you should use to make the costume easier to manage.
I'm 100% for separate pieces. It's better for storage. It's better for cleaning. It's better for packing.
So I have a magnet on my little crown, so it doesn't fall off my head. So it stays on there. So I love magnets too. I would have put magnets on my Bowser, but I was so cheap. I was like, I don't want to buy that many magnets. So I used Velcro instead. But yeah, I love magnets too. They are awesome.
I'm going to share the Miss Frizzle.
There we go. I was like, I need to find the magnet.
Oh, that's so great.
Wow.
Cute.
It's very hard to get photographed in that because of the thing. So bear with me. But yeah, so it's a magnet connecting my air tube, and Liz is connected with a magnet. And yeah, I'm super proud of that one.
I agree. Magnets are amazing, and more people should use them. Definitely. Yeah.
And then do you have one more thing that you like to use? Or
so I also wrote down the like Warbler versus foam, but I know that's like a bigger conversation, but I will just quickly say I have worked with both, and in the long run I think I prefer foam. So foam, of course, is the cheaper material, but you need way more tools to like get the foam to work. Dremel tool, different kinds of glue, all kinds of stuff. Warbler, you really just need like scissors and a heat gun, but it's more expensive to buy. So there's pros and cons, but I think for beginners, foam is a little more forgiving, and it's not going to burn you. But yeah, I was just going to mention that like I really like foam for prop building, and we were talking about storage and travel, and it's just a little easier, but they each have their use, certainly.
Yeah, definitely.
Do we want to go through some comments before we start talking about other tools?
Yeah, definitely. Vaughn says, I've been the designator handler on a different occasions. So yeah, if you're actually not cosplaying at the time, like, maybe you're taking a break and your other friends are cosplaying, like that's a great time to, pay it back to be a handler, or always have someone with you to be a handler. Especially if you're in body paint. Like, I feel like don't do body paint alone. It's just like, I always feel uncomfortable in it, and maybe that's just me. And so having someone else there to just help me with stuff, it just definitely helps. And, Mary says, I always need help with corsets and wings. Those are understandable. I mean, it's huge wings, especially. And Joe says, I always put on my wife's corsets for her. Best husband ever. Sakura says, best Rom. She's sending love. Let's see. Gregory says, all my cosplays feel way less intensive in comparison now. Don't feel that way. I've been cosplaying since 2001, and I only started really improving in the last couple of years. So it's not a contest. All you got to do is improve better than the last time you did it. Compete with yourself and no one else. So
these are my favorite cosplays. The ones that I can just like walk outside and look like an average human. Like really and truly, I do like one big build every year or two, and then I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna casual the rest. Like it's fine.
Well, I think it's beneficial too to think about, why do you enjoy cosplaying? Like, what's the part that you really like? Do you like the making it? Do you like the learning new things? Do you like the wearing it at cons? Do you like people running up and asking for a picture with you? Like, what's the part that you really enjoy? You do not have to do big intense cosplays to be considered a cosplayer at all. In fact, super famous cosplayer Kamui Cosplay, she's the one that does the huge armor builds. She sells tons of books. She made a very candid video recently about how as she's getting older, she's not enjoying wearing huge armor builds at cons anymore. And so she basically said, I'm still going to be making stuff, guys. I'm still going to be selling books, but don't expect to see me at cons in these very often. Like, I just have the stamina for it. And I respect that a lot, because I'm kind of like, girl, same. I feel that same way as I'm getting older, that like unless I'm competing, I don't really enjoy wearing huge, unmanageable cosplays at cons. But photo shoots, I really, really enjoy doing those things. So, I mean, it just depends on what you like doing cosplay for, you know? And it's not a competition at all with other people. It's a competition with yourself.
And there aren't any rules. It's just to have fun. There's no standard, and people who feel that they are don't belong in the community. So just enjoy yourself and do it for you. And that's a big thing for me personally, is a lot of people have thought like I do like a cosplay like Ula because I want attention. I was like, no, I've been obsessed with this character since I could barely walk, and I want to do it's for me. Cosplay for yourself and not for anybody else ever.
Yeah, if you don't cosplay for yourself, it's not going to be fun at all.
Right.
So make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, for your right reasons. So Mary asks, I'd love to know how y'all travel on a plane with large pieces. So maybe we'll save that question for later, but I just wanted to acknowledge that we got your question. Joe says, I turned my sister-in-law's bathroom red, coloring my daughter's hair red for Starfire. Outside for sprays. Always outside for sprays. Wow.
Buy a spray tan tent. They're very cheap on Amazon, and they fold up really small.
Yeah, good idea. Good idea. And Vaughn says, in the world of Warhammer 40K, modeling magnetized everything when it comes to larger models. So I'm big on a proponent on magnets. Yes, definitely. I agree. Instead of like clips and Velcro, I hate Velcro. I know you used it, but I do hate it and try not to use it when I can. Catherine, hi, nice to see you, girlie. That's our friend Craftly Ever Crafter. And Mary says, I enjoy making a concept and seeing an end result. Yes, definitely. Like seeing it come alive on paper or whatever. That's one of my favorite things too. It's like, oh my God, I actually did it, you know?
Right.
And Joe says, you're all so young. Thank you. I have the Asian genes, so I'm not as young as I look. All right, go ahead, guys. Thank you so much for our viewers. We love you.
Okay, so let's do one favorite tool and one favorite material each person. Ambrose, you're next.
Oh gosh. Specific for transforming yourself. Okay, so I will say I am not like a body paint expert by any means. Oh my goodness. Like please ask like Sam for your body paint questions. However, as far as water-based body paint, I did try a new brand I did a Persephone from Lore Olympus makeup test recently. And the brand that I tried, it was a water-based body paint. So like the cakes where you get it a little bit wet. It's Chameleon Cosmetics. I think that's what it's called. I was super impressed. Like one layer went on completely opaque. Like I was impressed with this formula. So whatever Chameleon, whatever you guys are doing, like top notch, because even like a body paint novice like myself was able to do it just fine. And it was so much faster than I thought it was going to be. Like I said, it was one layer and done. And I was like, I have no idea. Yeah, that's it.
So can I interject with a body paint thing real quick? I should have said earlier, I recommend Real Creations if you're covering large amounts of skin. It's expensive, but it will not come off. So if you're taking the time to do a cosplay that is a lot of your body and you want it to look good, I would put the money into Real Creations. But for like face, chest, water-based is fine. Real Creations is alcohol-based, and so it will not come off with sweat.
All right, I'm just putting these in the comments.
I'm making notes. Thank you.
And then, you know, as far as like just a tool, I mean, I feel like I go back to this every time. My favorite tool, like I couldn't do any of the costumes that I do without my sewing machine. It's absolutely my favorite. I actually upgraded 2 summers ago to a new sewing machine. And I love it so much. If I had to pick one tool moving forward, like that would be it. Me and my sewing machine, we're like partners. We don't always get along, but we're like this. So, you know, if you even have the tiniest, like, oh, I think I want to learn how to sew, like by all means, get a cheap sewing machine and like just dive right into it. Like start making like pillowcases or something. Even just like a circle skirt is super easy. And like, it's so much fun. I find it fun anyways. I know my mom hated sewing, but I really enjoy it. So as far as like transforming yourself, I couldn't make any of the costumes that I make without it. So.
Nice.
My favorite material, I lean also in the foam shades. I love using foam. I love working with foam. It can take so many different kinds of materials. You can do so many different things with it. And there's so many different kinds of foam out there now. Like it's not just the mats that we pretty much started with. Like my favorite one is probably just like the Crayola craft foam, like just the cheap stuff that air dries. You can, once you learn how to use that, you can use it for so many details. A lot of my ROM costume is the Crayola craft foam because I was able to use it. It's super, super lightweight. And so it's easy to do little tiny fine details with. It can become a little delicate. So I do warn people, it's like, learn how to play with it, see how much like the water content to the dry, because sometimes I use a little water to smooth it out. But that can also make it crack later in its life. So it's kind of just learning how to use it and what works best with it. It takes all kinds of different paints. I actually use a lot of nail polish on it because I like getting that shine. But that's probably my favorite like material. I use it for all kinds of stuff, and I always impress judges because I use that cheap stuff, just the Crayola stuff that's like $5 in the store because I'm cheap. And every time I go to the judge, they're like, "How did you make it work? Like it always cracks on me." And I'm like, "I don't know. I just have the magic touch." It's just being patient with it and learning the right combination, I guess. My favorite tool, probably my binder. I have a comfortable, really good binder. I use it for all of my costumes, including my girls, because I cosplay a lot of flat-chested girls. And so I would have to say I invested a lot of money into nice binders, and I use them a lot. And it was worth the money because that one purchase like saved me so much money. Like I use it all the time. It's safe. It's comfortable. And we have a whole episode on binding. So if you're curious what I use and how I use it, like go check out that video because we have all the information in there.
Oh, cute. Those are adorable.
Right.
All right, cool. I guess I'll go next. So my favorite tool is actually my makeup kit, like my beauty makeup kit, because I feel like I want to get pictures of my costume. So some cosplayers don't think that it's important to be wearing makeup when you're in costume, and I believe that everyone should at least be wearing something to like cover up redness or shine. Any concealer or powder. I mean, as long as if you want to look good in pictures, if you just want to wear a costume, do whatever you want. But I use my beauty makeup kit every costume and lashes too if I'm doing a really girly girl. So I feel like that's really important. You don't need to spend a lot of money on makeup. Maybe get like one or two really good pieces, like one good foundation and one good concealer, and everything else can be like drugstore brand. But even guys, I think if you're serious about making your cosplay pictures look good, get some powder, get some concealer. It's gonna look a lot better, and that's gonna be less editing you have to do post-production. So definitely my favorite tool. My favorite material is foam clay. Oh my God, I'm in love with foam clay. My horns are foam clay. These little spikes are foam clay. They are awesome. I can't get enough of it. Like I ordered cheap stuff. I ordered expensive stuff. Like I love it. Foam clay is like a godsend.
It is really fun to work with, foam clay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So my horns are from the foam from Cosplay Pros. I did buy cheaper stuff because I didn't want to waste the expensive stuff on just a bunch of spikes. So I found some cheap stuff on Amazon, and it worked enough for these kind of simple shapes. But this foam clay from Cosplay Pros is beautiful. You can do anything with it. I love it. Thank God for foam clay.
Yeah, it is probably some of the nicest foam clay because I've used foam clay from pretty much all foam clay that's made currently. I've tried it from Amazon Cosplay Pros, and then I've had it shipped from Australia, I think. But I've tried different versions, and at this, like the Cosplay Pros foam clay so far has beaten everything.
Yeah. Well, and if you're not great at free sculpting, like I'm not super great at just, making something with my hands, you can press it into molds, just like you would with resin and have a copy. But what's really nice about the foam clay is it's super lightweight. So if you're like, oh, I need a bunch of feathers, but I can't have them be heavy, you just keep pressing that foam clay into your feather mold and wait, about 20 minutes and then pop it back out. And you have lightweight feathers.
Well, I think because we live in Arizona, it doesn't take that long.
It takes like an hour, maybe two, matters on how cold the day is. Like Washington is a terrible place to work on cosplay because everything's cold and wet.
Yeah.
We have so much humidity.
Yeah.
Everything takes forever to dry.
I was able to make these pretty fast because of how hot it is here. Oh, and my earrings are also little foam clay balls too.
You have to work faster in Arizona too, though. So you got to really get it done quick. Like
I experienced a dry heat for the first time in my life last some before COVID. I don't remember time before. And I was like, oh, so anyone from Arizona is just not allowed to complain about how hot it is because there's no humidity and it's amazing. It's amazing.
No, it's true. It's true. Because I lived in a really humid place and hot place, and that was hell. So.
Yes, where I live. I live in a swamp.
Yeah, so this is good. And it's so great for cosplay, guys. Paint dries like that. It's like coat 1, coat 2 is great. I love it. Unless it rains, then we're like,
Doesn't even rain. It rains.
Yeah. Sam, what about you?
So the I don't know if it's considered a tool or material or both technically. But right now I've been using CosBond a lot lately, and holy crap,
They're
do
pretty
I
good brand.
love this stuff. The reinforcer, I'm using it now instead of interfacing on fabric because it's sticky and it does a better job, and it has enough stretch that I can use it on stretch material too. And I've used the attach and build sheets for so many things now, and holy crap, it's like
I usually have some right here.
Oh,
yeah, CosBond is actually from my neck of the woods. They're an hour away. So I've worked with them a lot. I really like them. They're a wonderful brand. I highly recommend looking into it because it's such an easy way to do everything. The only thing it doesn't stick to is vinyl, and I know that because I've used it on boots, and it lasts for a while, but it's not a permanent bond.
The only way to work on vinyl is you have to sand the crap out of the vinyl. And then you have to stick it on. You have to leave it alone for like 24 hours. And then it'll work, but it still will break down.
Does.
Yeah.
All of my ROM boots, actually, I think I'm featured on one of their pages. All my ROM boots are done with CosBond because I'm like, screw this. I'm not doing anything else. And it works. That stuff is amazing.
So other than CosBond, I absolutely adore Spandex World because I probably use almost exclusively stretch fabric. I do not like non-stretch fabric. I'm weird. So stretch fabric is super easy for me to use. I can use meshes, 2-way stretch, 4-way stretch, vinyls, plastics, I don't know. But I freaking love Spandex World. I have never had a single one of their materials fail on me. And they are very high quality. Their shipping is ridiculously fast. And they have amazing customer service too.
Those are awesome prints, man.
Yeah.
Do they do custom prints too?
I think they did. I mean, they used to. You can message their team because I haven't seen it on the list, but I know that they had to make updates and stuff, but they used to do it. So I would just contact them and say, hey, do you still do this? Because I'm not sure where they updated their menu. Now there's even more. And I'm like, oh, there's so much. It's amazing. So I think I just get overwhelmed. But if they don't do custom printing, then Spoonflower is pretty good. But the problem with Spoonflower is they don't use athletic grade spandex, so it is less opaque than what Spandex World provides.
Cool. Spoonflower is pretty expensive too. You really have to budget for that, unless you have an unlimited cosplay budget, in which case, like, let's be friends.
Whatever you want. Yeah.
So we are going to be going over another. So we will be going to like 105 because we started 5 minutes late. So we do still have about like close to 15 minutes almost, but we've gone over like kind of our tools and materials, our favorite transformations. So what tips would you provide? Like, what are your top 2 tips per person that you would want to give a cosplayer who's looking for a dramatic transformation, like not just putting a costume on? Maybe they want to apply a prosthetic or makeup. What are your top 2 tips for individuals who want to do that big transformation? Let's go ahead and start with you, Karen, and I'm going to do the little rearrangement here. There we go.
Oh, this isn't on my notes. No, I'm kidding. So 2 tips. So mine are going to be general. And so I think for anyone wanting to take on any kind of large cosplay for whatever it is, I would say you need to watch tutorials and keep the perspective that you're watching a video of someone who's like a professional or has been doing it a million times. Cause I have trouble with that. Like, I will try it and it won't be as good as the person that's done it for 20 years. And then you can't think that way. And you just have to be patient with yourself. So mine's more like a way to mentally approach doing something big. You can do it, but you really have to give yourself the time and the patience to learn a new skill. And this is something I am not always good at. I do get frustrated easily. So don't be like me. And patience. You can do it.
What about you, Ambrose?
I would say, especially if you're not super great at makeup, practice makes perfect, you guys. The more you practice your makeup, the better you're going to get at it. The more you're going to learn the products that you like. I always, always, always recommend doing a makeup test prior to something big, like a con or maybe a competition or your photo shoot or whatever it is. Always do a makeup test because you never quite know, especially with body paint, you never know how it's going to react with your skin. Are the colors, the color of your skin underlying, is it going to fit with the body paint? For me, it's often no. But and with makeup especially, I know some people can be really intimidated by it. Expensive doesn't necessarily mean better in the makeup world. You don't have to necessarily get super expensive makeup products to look good in the end result. And that's coming as someone who is I feel like a long way with makeup. Definitely not a professional makeup artist, but I've definitely learned a lot just from practicing and watching tutorials. I agree with what Karen Cosplay said. Look at what other people have done before you. You'll find things that you like that they've done that you're like, oh, I kind of want to try to emulate that or whatever. And you can kind of reverse engineer it a little bit just based on either their tutorials or just looking at their pictures or whatever. But practice, 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 you guys. You will get better at transforming yourself the more you practice, and you'll be able to do those cool throwback Thursday pictures where you're like, look at my transformation, back in 2020. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I looked like this. Now I look so amazing. And so practice, you guys, practice. It's worth it.
Yeah.
All right, Kii-chan.
I'm not ready. I have to say that those are the two most important ones. We have covered. Go to YouTube, freaking free tutorials. You can find anything and learn how to do anything online. Do it. It's worth it. It's free. Two, makeup is such a powerful part of transformation. That's today I am all natural, but usually I have a masculine style makeup on that kind of brings in my cheeks. So I don't really have anything else to say. Those two are just, for me, the most important thing. But I'm going to be the con mom and say maybe keep in mind the comfort of yourself when doing big builds. Can you use the restroom? Can you eat? Can you drink? Do you need a handler? If you do, please make sure you have that pre-figured out before the convention. Pockets. Find a way to either Jinx, your Bowser costume, we were just talking about it off stream. You put a backpack in your shell, making cool props and pieces, and then using it to utilize things like adding pockets or a place that you can put water in it. One of my shop dads, he has this really cool Warcay outfit, and he has a little water bottle that's in the back that he just has a little hose that he can drink out of because it's a very hot, long day. Please keep in mind health aspects. You still need to drink, you still need to eat, you still need to use the restroom. So that's just something when you're doing big builds to keep in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Agreed.
All right. Well, then we mentioned Jinx. Jinx, it's your turn.
Hi guys. So one of my first tip is to ask your friends. You might know somebody that knows a skill that even if they're not a cosplayer, they might know something like makeup artists or hairstylists or whatever. Or even people that are models or photographers. Maybe you're going to be uncomfortable in your new outfit. Maybe they can help you pose. But also, especially your other cosplay friends, I'm sure they'd love to help you guys out. I always ask my friends Sam and Liz, they're so great in helping. So if there's something that you don't know, reach out. And then also, if you're the cosplayer you follow, I know Sam has tons of tutorials, and if you message her and ask her anything, she'll help you. And I'm the same. So, don't, the worst they can say is no. And it's okay, there's tons of other cosplayers out there that have maybe done it. So if someone wants to cosplay something I've done and they need help, I'm so happy to offer it. So don't be afraid to ask that. And number two is don't be afraid in general. Like I said with Widowmaker, how I had all these apprehensions about how am I going to look, and et cetera, et cetera. It's you just need to believe in yourself, and you'll get there. So it's going to be hard. You're going to tear yourself down the whole way there. But just keep with it, and you'll be satisfied in the end. You're going to be happy with yourself. So, yeah. That's me.
I agree. And then for me, I personally think that accept your mistakes as learning experiences. You will make mistakes. It will happen. And rather than trying to run away from them, run straight towards them. Because it's better to make that mistake and figure out, oh, okay, so what works for me next? I enjoy doing research, but I can only do, I find that I will procrastinate and keep doing research and keep doing research, thinking that it will improve. Until I take action, I'm never going to improve. So take action and take risks.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Those are good tips, guys. And I'm just going to mention some comments here that we got. Anthony Lebron says, love your costumes. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much. Sarah Alcon says, my boyfriend is loving the foam clay. My jam is still Warbler, though. I can't get any foam clay to work like he does. I love Warbler, too. But yeah, the foam clay is like, oh my God, a godsend.
I think every cosplayer has like one material that they just like excel at. And everyone's kind of like, how do you do this?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know?
That's why you need your friends. You need help. You need people who's strong in other things. Yeah. And Vaughn says, I understand Washington. I'm from the North, Idaho, and all my first cosplays were from back there. Cosplaying during winter is so much fun. Like, it's so hard to cosplay in Arizona because our winters don't even get that cold. But it's like during summer, we're like, I cannot do a full suit of armor. Or I'm going to die. You know, you have to wait until the winter to do it.
It's October, and I'm like, I should have put a jacket on. Like, I'm really cold in my house.
I think it finally dropped under 100 in Arizona. Like, it's been so hot.
I have blankie.
I had a cat, but she ditched me.
Mary says, absolutely makeup test. Always, 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 always do your tests before the event. And
yeah, this is a makeup test. I've never done this before, so I was like, oh.
Yeah. Perfect.
I mean, I know what I want to improve next time, but I was like,
didn't we also do a question about traveling with cosplay?
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna go to that. Yeah.
One more comment is Joe says, I found as a guy going to makeup clinics at cons, the presenters are skeptical that you're there to learn for yourself. I mean, don't worry about what other people think. You know, you're there to learn for yourself. So who cares what they think? Just go.
Well,
just
honestly, like, I mean, you might want to try, like, if you go to, say, like Sephora, Ulta, whatever, who have like the attendants who can help you. I mean, their job is to sell you stuff. So I find that they're pretty accepting of whoever. And I mean, the guys wearing makeup is like so not a radical thing anymore, especially not in this community or even in the makeup community. It's
my
like,
guy friends do better makeup than I do.
Oh, yeah. Like James Charles has a whole line with Morphe. Like, it's amazing.
And Morphe is amazing. Oh, one of my favorite brands.
Yeah, Morphe's great. Yeah. All right, and the question that we had was, how do you guys travel with large pieces? And I know Liz traveled with a really large piece.
Oh boy.
And Sam. So you guys want to take those away?
Well, okay. So when I traveled with Sarah from Labyrinth, I actually shipped the entire costume, wig, bodice, skirt, grand pannier. I shipped everything. And I recommend it. It was a lot less stress to have it shipped with a tracking number. And I mean, if you think about it, you guys, like, I know some people are hesitant about shipping a costume and not having it on the plane with them or whatever. But like, if you think about it, like UPS, like that's their job, is to get your stuff from location A to location B. So like, I had no problem with anything getting lost or not having it on time or anything. It actually arrived earlier than expected. And I just picked it up from the UPS store and then shipped it back home when I was done with the competition. So, I mean, I had a really great experience with that. I know maybe not everyone does, but like it was definitely cheaper than taking it on a flight. And I have a feeling it was probably handled better too, based on the state of the box. So, I mean, that would be my recommendation, especially if you have something really heavy, it'll probably be cheaper to ship it. So I had a good experience with it, but I know possibly not everyone has. So that's my experience with that.
Yeah, I don't chip anything. I make it to where I can break everything down through snaps, Velcro, magnets. I have big armor pieces for Yojimbo. I'm gonna pull up some information here real fast while I'm talking about this. So Yojimbo, the costume alone weighs about 15 pounds, and it's fabric, and some of the fabric cannot be folded a certain direction. So I have to be very careful with how I pack Yojimbo, otherwise I can potentially break things. And so I was like, how do I pack this thing? Like, this is ridiculous. Like, what do I do? So I'll kind of show you. I think I have a picture. I think I actually did a video of this. This is like the worst video ever. Where is like the picture of, oh, here we go. I think it's this one. I'm sorry, guys. If you're just going to make fun of me, it's like, is this such an old video? It's terrible, but it's fine.
We love you, Sam. If we make fun of you, it's because we love you.
If Exactly. Okay. So I'm going to share this and then I'm going to have to like fast forward a bit because this is the unedited one. I can't find the edited one. Why did you not share the screen? It's pink.
Naughty.
Okay. So there's like so many pieces. There's like a hat, there's a wig. There's a specific way I have to fold this particular thing here. So I'm just going to kind of go, wee. You can see me very, very carefully folding it inside out so that the glitter doesn't get on everything. That skirt weighs 5 pounds. That's how much fabric is on it. And then I obviously was like, oh, wait a second. Nope.
That looks right. That's how cosplay is.
This is how it works. And it just keeps going with folding. And I'm going to keep fast forwarding here. And that's the tricky part is I was trying to figure out how do I get these pauldrons in here without crushing them? Let's just keep, there we go. Yeah, that works. And then I thought later, where do I put the hat? Oh, crap. Where do I put the hat, guys? So, yep. There we go. So that's it right there. So that is, it's just like playing Tetris with yourself. It's cosplay Jenga / Tetris.
I'd also be
and
wary of
Karen-
like paint materials, so plastic bags or like paper in between things, so they don't like transfer.
Yeah, what I ended up doing is I actually have a garment bag now that I put anything with glitter in, and then I gently fold everything up into it. And thankfully, my pauldrons they're sealed with an acrylic matte sealant, but it's a flexible acrylic matte sealant that's made by Plat Effects, I think, or something like that. But it's probably the best one. Do not use the Plasti Dip. The clear Plasti Dip will just peel right off. It's terrible. I've used it for so many different things, and I've never had it successfully work. So I would just suggest clear matte sealants, even if you have to do them in really light, or doing something like wood glue or Mod Podge, so that it helps make sure your armor's protected. And then if you're worried about the paint coming off, wrap it in tissue paper.
Yeah, there you go.
And then also, like for things that were like my pauldron was like round, if you're worried about that collapsing too, say it's foam, stick in some furniture foam because it'll help cushion it.
Or even your clothes. You can use your underwear to stuff stuff.
Yeah.
And then Karen Cosplay seemed like she had something she really wanted to say.
So I admit that Ula, she can't, if I'm going on a plane, she just can't come. There's too many pieces. But I will say that, all my friends who do stormtroopers and stuff like that, there is these large, like lockbox type looking suitcase things, but it looks like a plastic box with a lock. And people, you get a TSA lock that they can unlock it, but no one else can. And that's how people travel with like their stormtrooper armor and like their weapons. So like large plastic pieces that you can't fit in a normal suitcase. There is that option that fits within the standards of things that you can check on a plane. So that certainly is another option for big costume pieces. And technically I could use one of them for Ula. It was just a matter of expense time.
And budget too.
And please keep in mind, especially with the weapons or props or things that can be difficult, like double check with your airport. Make sure you have, you want to just try to be as tight with your airport as possible. Talk things over. Make sure you have all of the right regulations down so things don't get stopped halfway through. I don't know how many horror stories I've heard from like professional cosplayers where they get stopped because of their gear and what they have, and they're like, it's a prop. It can't do anything, but I know it looks like a gun.
Which was like a light up kid's gun, and I had a little, like literally I taped a little note on there that said, "Hi TSA, I'm sure you're checking this, wondering what the fuck." It's okay. And I'm sorry for you guys, but that's exactly what it was. Is they were like, and they like literally, I could tell they've been in there because I pack a very certain way, and so it was disturbed. It was turned a different direction. And I'm like, they looked at it, and my note was missing. So,
another quick tip, sorry. For all my hair pieces, I put them in Tupperware, and so they can't get crushed when you are traveling with them.
Yeah, that's a great way to put. I put some pieces in that too.
Yeah, for pieces that aren't delicate, what I've learned to do to save space in my bag is I get those for pieces that can just be thrown into something and not worried about. So like my casual costumes, or like if I bring a stuffed animal or pillow with me, I put them in one of those airtight bags, like one of the storage containers, and suck all the air out. and that makes so much space in your suitcase. You'd be shocked. And like, you're so
Things are
cheap. Just go to
moving.
Walmart and like just buy airtight bags. It's totally
Yeah.
worth it.
And best from Twitch says trash bags, cheap garment bags. I do have trash bags hanging in my closet along with garment bags. So yeah, definitely those are great too. Just make sure that your paint isn't going to stick to the plastic.
You can also use like paper tubes, like the really tall shipping tubes, or tripod bags for anything that is like a long sword or weapon. You can sneak those in there too, and they're usually TSA compliant. So just make sure, like Kii-chan said, please check your regulations, and if you're worried about it, you can message them ahead of time and get approval.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So, all right, well, we've kind of got a little bit over, so let's go ahead and start with our wrap up. All right, Karen Cosplays, where can everybody reach you?
So you guys can reach me on Instagram, which is just Karen Cosplays, and I do use Twitter a lot, less so for cosplay, but that is, you know, an easy way to find me. And my Twitter is my name, missing one of the letters, so it's Karen, ROBERSN.
Awesome, thank you very much. Okay, Jinx.
Hi guys, you can find me. I have a website, JinxCosplay.com. On social media, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, I am the JinxCosplay. And while I'm here as well, like CosTalk Live, we stream on 3 platforms. We stream on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. And our website is, I'm not sure if our website's up yet, Sam.
But our website's costalklive.jimdofree.com, and it's actually on our Facebook site and on our link tree.
Okay, cool. Thanks, guys.
All right, Kii-chan?
Kii-chan Cosplay. Gosh, I'm so tired. So like what my tag is, just Kii-chan _cosplay. That's me on Instagram. And then Kii-chan Cosplay is one big word on Facebook. And that's all I use because I'm the worst on the internet.
There you go. That works. Ambrose?
Hi, once again, I'm Liz from Ambrose Cosplay. You can find me on Facebook at Ambrose Cosplay, exactly how it's written. Oh, sorry, here, right there. And on Instagram and Instructables, I am Ambrose _cosplay.
Awesome, thank you.
Yay.
All right, and I am ThermoCosplay, and just go to www.thermocosplay.com. It's the same thing how it's spelled here too. And if you want to find me everywhere else, that's just go there. Just go there. I have too many things, guys. Just go there. But thank you, everyone, for joining us today.
And next week, what are we doing next week, Sam?
Okay, next week. Next week
story
is
time, right?
Story time. Yeah, I was trying to remember what the date was. So next week is story time. So it's just the CosTalk Live crew, and we're going to just regale you with cosplay.
Yeah. And you guys can come and ask us questions. It's just going to be an open chat, like we've done one before, so it's just so fun. So we stream every Sunday, guys, 12 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, which I know is ending on November 1st. So 12 p.m. whatever California is.
Yeah,
we are taking a break.
Next week is so the cosplay story time, but the week after that we're taking a break. And then we'll join back the I think the 7th or 8th of.
So follow our Facebook, guys. We have our events up there. Send us messages if you want a subject covered or a guest. We'd love to hear from you guys.
We should do an episode on travel. That's a really good idea.
Yes, that is a good idea. So that is on our list. So thank you guys so much. We love you. Thank you for tuning in every week. And we hope you guys have a safe and happy week.
Bye, everybody.